Hey gang! Whew, it's a real hot one out there today. Good thing got the AC going. I should be sitting in front of it, but oh well. That's the breaks in life. Well, as you can tell by the title, it's another little rant, and this time it's on bullying. You know, gang, I gotta tell you something. For the past, I don't know how many years, it seems like everybody and their grandmother and their grandfather and their aunt and their uncle and whoever else tries to put together these little anti-bullying campaigns. I gotta tell you, folks, bullies don't give a crap about that. Bullies are going to do whatever they want to do to your kids as long as your kids let them do it. As long as you let them do it. Let me tell you something. I was bullied a lot as a kid. Because, I grew up with two parents that worked for a living. We didn't have a whole lot, didn't live in the nicest houses or anything like that. But I was picked on because, I was different. I was a fun-loving kid. I was very small, didn't have much muscle tone to me, and to be honest with you, I never really tried to fight back. So finally, after years of torture, being bullied around by the kids at school that, well, at least some of the kids at school that, like to, ram my head into a locker, or, well, it wasn't really a locker back then, but, basically these kids that just love to torture me in every way that they could. I finally got the courage to talk to my dad, and he taught me how to fight and defend myself. You see, that's what you guys need to do. You gotta teach your kids to fight and defend themselves. Now, I'm not talking, UFC, MMA style stuff. I'm talking about stuff where basically they can just try to defend themselves against a bully. And if it doesn't work the first time, eventually they will find a weakness in the bully and they will take him down. I mean, folks, how many more times can we have this Columbine nonsense and all these school shootings? Whether you know it or not, but 9 times out of 10, it's anybody's guess the reason why these kids go off and shoot up their school and their teachers and most of the students and everybody they go to school with. It's because they were bullied. They weren't paid attention enough as a bullied child. So they just grab a gun, they go to school, and they snap and take anybody out. You see, the thing is with bullies, again, bullies, 9 times out of 10, they just act like that because they're acting out. And there's a number of reasons why. Parents never loved them enough, showed them enough attention, showed them enough anything. Or their dad was an abusive jerk, or their mom was abusive. And alcohol and drugs are 9 times out of 10, again using that phrase, usually the cause of why their parents are jerks and bullies. Folks, I'm just trying to tell you, if you can't teach your kids how to fight, take them somewhere or send them to somebody who knows how to fight and defend themselves. Because we can't keep having these people that just want to, that basically just want to go around and bully people. Because you know what happens to a kid who gets bullied most of his life? He turns out to be an adult who gets bullied and never defends himself, and then eventually snaps and kills people and serves about 4 life sentences in jail, or in prison, actually, as I should have said. See, folks, I'm about 6'3", 200 pounds, okay? It ain't muscle, but I'm a pretty good-sized guy. But I don't get this way because I was basically, I watched a lot of kung fu theater as a kid. Some of you may actually get that reference. I am this way because I try to take good care of myself. But I do not let anybody push me around. Now, if I get pushed, I have every right in the world to defend myself. And besides, in this town, cops going to take my word over the person who shoved me first. Trust me. Look, all I'm saying is, Anti-bullying campaigns are usually made for celebrities who just want to get their names out there and get on camera and just try to feel like that they're doing something good when in all reality they're just doing it to please and stroke their own egos. Or they're for people who basically have nothing better to do with their lives because their lives are so empty and they just want to be a part of something so they can get on camera and feel like they can earn their 15 minutes of fame. Look, you want to stop bullying? Either stop raising a bully, and the ultimate thing that really needs to be done with these kids want to be bullies, they need to be disciplined. I know, the government just says, oh, well, we can't do that kind of thing, and DHS wants to say that kind of thing, but you know something? Every once in a while, don't spank your kids in public. Take them home and beat the crap out of them. I mean, I know the government and DHS will probably hear something about this, but let's face it. When I was growing up, we didn't have to worry about the government and DHS. If myself, my brother, and my sister got out of line, it was 5 across the behind. And if it wasn't the hand, it was a belt. If it wasn't a belt, it was the old-fashioned switch. And I think we all know what those switches were. Share your memories of switches down below if you like. But folks, I'm just trying to tell you right here, right now. Anti-bullying campaigns, just stop. Teach your kids to defend themselves, and maybe one day bullying will be done for. If you don't teach your kids to defend themselves, they're going to grow up being adults who are basically going to constantly keep getting bullied and pushed around and knocked around, and they're just going to wind up, again, living in some shack, sharpening out sticks and using spears to stab people and collecting guns and stuff like that. I'm just trying to help you guys out. Again, just try to do what you can to help your kids out in any way possible, to teach your kids how to defend themselves. Karate, self-defense, anything like that. MMA, UFC stuff, come on, they're going to wind up killing somebody with that kind of stuff, you know? So folks, just do what you can. Stop the anti-bullying campaign nonsense and just try to teach your kids how to defend themselves in any way possible. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Because my dad taught me how to fight, and ever since then, if I was ever confronted by something, I usually had to do whatever I could to defend myself. Well, if it was for the right reason. I mean, I can tell you a couple of stories about some friends of mine who got jumped, but actually, as it turns out, they kind of deserved it, and I was like, hey, they're not coming after me, what do I care? You might call it being a coward, but hey, if you know these two guys, they run their mouths a lot, and they got what they deserved, so there you go. But I will always defend a true friend, because a true friend will always defend me. Well, folks, I'm going to get the heck on out of here. I think I bored you guys enough. If you like what I had to say, then comment below. If you disagree, that's fine too. But either way, folks, anti-bullying campaigns, it's a waste of time. Teach your kids to defend themselves, and they'll grow up to be all right. Maybe not Chuck Norris, but somewhere close to it. Stay strong and rock on.